played tackle in NFL games. Lincoln Box played tackle in NFL games. You know, we've had Walker and Hawkins that played left tackle. So we got a number of guys that we'll take a look at. We'll see how everybody is and talk to the medical people and go from there.
So that is one thing you would consider, Jawan James, because I know you've had him at right almost entirely.
Yeah, we'll consider any option, whatever we have to do to give our team a chance to win and get our guys in the right positions. We'll do whatever we have to do.
What has Dallas Thomas shown you at left tackle?
Well, he's a good athlete. I think back, one of the things that intrigued us when we watched his college film was his position flexibility, and so. He's a guy that moves well enough. He's athletic. He gets out of his stance pretty well, and we think he's had a good camp.
We obviously watching pretty closely, Erica, the track it's taking. Would you consider, if it hits early next week, moving elsewhere to practice? Would that be something you would consider?
We have discussions usually every spring about those type of things, and obviously it depends what the severity is and all those things. But everything's on the table. We got to get our team ready to play in the regular season, and whatever we have to do that, I'm sure we'll do organizationally.
This is the dry run, the dress rehearsal. Are we to assume that who plays at guard is the front runner to begin the season as the season started?
Well, I wouldn't assume anything. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're not necessarily locked and loaded at that position yet. So there's still a lot of evaluation going on. We're halfway through the preseason, and guys are going to get opportunities in this game to earn playing time in the regular season. So, I wouldn't read into anything quite yet.
Joe, first cuts begin early next week.
Yep.
There'll be another round of cuts after that. What message would you have for guys that are fighting them for roster spots these next 10 days or so?
Yeah, I mean, well, they sit in the team, just like you guys are sitting here. I mean, they come in every single day, and there's 88, 89 of them at this moment, and they, we've told them when training camp opens, and we've told them probably before preseason game number 1 that, at the end of the day, there's only going to be 53 spots and then 10 on the practice squad. So the competition is fierce, and that there's not a lot of margin for error. And that our job as coaches is to give them, these guys have worked their tails off, to get here, number 1, and a lot of them have been with us since April 21st. And so we want to provide them opportunity, which I feel like our staff has done a really good job providing opportunity for players to make this team. And so, but at the end of the day, we're going to have to make some difficult decisions, and they have to understand that every opportunity, every rep they get is important, and they want to show as well as they possibly can.
In terms of the offense, what is it that, not just the offense, but the defense as well, what is it that you want to see in the dress rehearsal to make you feel comfortable like this team is ready to begin the season on September 13th?
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see a couple more takeaways on defense. I'd love to see great, what I call clean calls, where everything's clean, where we're getting lined up properly. Our splits are good. Our get off as a football team on both sides of the ball is good. We're minimizing pre-snap penalties. We're doing a better job on offense protecting the football. And, those little things to me add up, and, they kind of present a good, clean, hard-playing football team. And usually when you're doing those little things well, the first downs, the points, and third down conversion on defense, a lot of that stuff takes care of itself. So looking to play a cleaner game than we've played the first 2 weeks.
Joe, to follow up on dress rehearsal, could weather conditions, field conditions dictate how long the starters are in there?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll have to see when we get closer to game time, but that's always a consideration. We'll meet tomorrow as with the coordinators I meet with, and we talk about weather conditions, field conditions. Absolutely, it could.
Well, logistically, how would it work if you guys have to relocate? Do you have a high school stadium in Orlando lined up?
Oh yeah, we've discussed a couple different scenarios, and so we'll be ready if we need to. Sure.
Anything you can specifically tell us?
Nothing right now. No.
Joe, with extra points moved back this year,
yep.
Do you anticipate more two-point conversion attempts? And if so, is this a good time of year to work on that?
I think there'll be a slight increase, Andy. My guess is it might be a little bit later in the season, possibly when weather plays a little bit more of a factor, potentially. I do think there'll be a little bit of an increase. There's 2 ways to look at it. Do you want to practice it more because you may do it more, or do you want to? If you feel really good about 3 or 4 concepts that you're going to utilize, and you feel like you're going to do it in the season, do you want to hold on to those and not show show your opponent. So I think there's merit both ways.
Yeah, part of it shows that everybody has saying when you go for 2
Sure.
points. Did you tweak that this offseason because of the new rule?
Not a lot. We've looked at it, but we haven't tweaked it a whole lot. No.
I guess in that same vein, you guys now gone for it twice in 4th and goal near the goal line.
Sure.
I'm sure some of that might just be preseason, wanting to get the reps. But has your thinking at all evolved on going for it in 4th down near the goal line?
Well, I mean, we've studied everything, every scenario, and we've done a pretty comprehensive look at all 4th downs in the league last year and studied them when teams are going for it, what the success rate is based on if it's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third, the fourth. We've looked at run-pass ratios within the down and distance. So we did a really comprehensive 4th down study. So I would say we're all analyzing it, but I think that changes game to game. That's why we kind of have those meetings at the end of the week. Okay, hey, here's what we anticipate. They're not a great 3rd and short defense, which means maybe they're not a great 4th and short defense, which means maybe there's opportunity there. Or, boy, they're a team that really struggles to, put together a 70-yard scoring drive, so maybe we should punt the ball. There's all kind of, I don't think there's going to be a blanket approach where, hey, this week on 4th and 2, every 4th and 2 inside the 5, we're going for it, I don't see that being the scenario. I think everything's game specific, situation specific.
Have you heard of the high school coach that never punts? Did you hear that?
I have heard of him. Yeah. We're going to hire him next year. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, can you see the logic in it though?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure there is some. I mean, he would obviously, I would guess, have some, evidence to back up, why he does it so often. But it's interesting, that's for sure.
We're not going to see it this year.
Probably not. Probably not.
Joe, with Jamar Taylor, are you more cautious bringing him back, considering he has an injury history, or is he the same as anybody else?
No, I mean, we got a great, we have a lot of faith in Ryan Grove and our medical staff, and our strength and conditioning staff, and in Wayne and sports science. So, I mean, we got a tremendous staff, and they know injuries a lot better than Joe Philbin does, and I have a lot of faith in them that when they say that they're working with this player on a daily basis and he's ready to go, then I feel like he's ready to go. So I don't know that we can, read too much into it one way or the other. I think we just, rely on the medical, and then you got to trust your eyes when you're out there, Chris. As a coach, I've been going to football practices for 32 years, and sometimes you can tell if a guy looks good or he doesn't look good.
Do you have concerns about your depth at cornerback, considering you had to play with Cedric Thompson at nickel, safety at nickel? I know it.
Well, yeah,
happens,
when you lose 2 guys in a game, you're never feeling, you don't feel great about that, But I mean, it is the preseason. It gives guys opportunities to evaluate different guys, Omar. But I mean, I think obviously if we were in a game and we had 8 DBs dressed and 2 corners went down, it would be kind of, wouldn't be great, but that's the way football is sometimes.
Everyone good? All right, Coach Coyle will be ready. And
all right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Locker room for anyone that wants to go.
Yeah.